in real estate. Let's freaking go, baby. Today, I got Annette Robinson and Carlos Zuniga. 5 years in the game. Happy anniversary.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I got Annette Robinson on the podcast. I can't believe it, y'all. I cannot believe it. Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. Look. The reason why I'm saying this, and we got wine up here right now because Annette does not like being on camera. But today, we got her out here. And I want to tell you, Annette, I just want to say happy anniversary, 5-year anniversary.
Thank you.
And Carlos, happy 5-year anniversary.
Appreciate it, brother.
And today we're interviewing two amazing realtors and a board member of the Veteran Homeowners Club and a TC and everything real estate and the nonprofit that we have, but we would not be here if it was not for Annette Robinson. Annette, we met in 2008, 2008 or 2009?
2008.
2008 in Iraq. And Annette Robinson has been a force multiplier on the Veteran Homeowners Club. What branch of service did you serve in?
I was in the Navy for 10 and a half years. Most of my career I was stationed with the Marines. So of course, that's how I met Mr. Glenn over here on deployment in Iraq. So.
And what made you get into real estate?
I got into real estate initially helping transaction coordinate while you were still active duty.
Mm-hmm.
Needed some help.
Yes, big time.
Some help. So I started managing the files. So transaction coordinator, basically you manage the files, you make sure all the docs are in compliance, and that's how I got started in 2015.
And then you became licensed. How many times do you take the test? Since we out here talking.
Oh, don't do that.
How many times we take the test in there?
The test, I think twice.
But you know what, man? The biggest thing, though, is that you've been here, right? You've been here since day one. And 5 years going, we've been able to open up an office, start a transaction coordinator company, and then also build a team, right? What's the name of your team?
The Legacy Team.
The Legacy Team, let's go. I got my brother, Carlos Zuniga. Carlos, thank you for joining us. Semper Fidelis, brother.
Rod Semper Fi.
What branch of service?
Marine Corps.
I said Semper Fi. I'm asking what branch of service. Y'all already know we on the wine today, man. What made you get into real estate?
To be quite honest, it was Marco Ramos and Jose Roa. So Marco Ramos got me into real estate. I did not want to get into real estate because I did not enjoy speaking to people. Marco was like, yeah, you should get into it. I'm going to get in it. He signed me up for the course. He did everything for me. I did anything except took the course. He literally forced my hand. He forced me to go to school.
That's
so
crazy.
I appreciate you, brother. And then he linked me up with Tony, and it's been one happy family since then.
The rest is history, right?
For sure.
So you was on recruiting duty as well as a real estate professional, right?
I was. Oh my goodness.
And you were the top. So for those of you who don't know, Carlos was actually one of the top recruiters at his recruiting station. Can you talk about that?
Back in the day. So recruiting, what can I say? It was the experience that helped me grow in every way possible. It helped me get out of my comfort zone. So just like what we're doing with Annette right now, throw her into the fire, that's what recruiting was. It got me to speak. It got me to speak. It got me to speak publicly. It got me to speak in front of people. It got me to speak to kids, educators, and I thank for it every single day because it helped me grow.
That's awesome, man. And what's crazy is that you never know until you actually start asking questions, because what's crazy about it is that even though Annette doesn't like to talk in public, she's very good at speaking with clients and everything else. And behind the scenes, I'm going to tell y'all, I got fired by Annette Robinson as a transaction coordinator. But I'm going to tell you something. So always through calamity, you really find out who your friends are and who really want to support your business and love. And what was crazy about it is that we was at we were a partner with another brokerage, right? Mm-hmm. During that time, we were actually training with Annette and Carlos, Marco at Irene's house when we were building our team. And since then, Annette and the legacy team have been able to help over 100 veterans achieve home ownership. So I want to cheers to that. Congratulations. All right. Cheers, cheers, cheers to the tasty beverages and the legacy team. Over 100 veterans in homes, y'all. Let me take a drink, y'all. Let me see. Oh, that's hitting right, man. So this podcast is like no other because I want to say I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for being, number one, the secretary for the Veteran Homeowners Club since we started. Number two, starting the legacy team and helping us get through transaction coordinating. And for those of you who don't know, transaction coordinating is administrative. And what it does is it assists realtors not do all of the administrative stuff, which is very robust. Can you talk about how many transactions do you think you did with your transaction coordinator company?
Over 100. I'm just gonna leave it at that number because it was a lot. Because yep.
That's okay.
I did transaction coordinator for the entire office. And I don't know how many agents we had at the time. We had a lot of agents.
Yeah, we had 40 agents when you were doing transaction coordinating. So what that means is that, like, not only are you transaction coordinating, when you got new agents that are in their first year, there's a lot of administrative stuff that people don't know, right? So Annette was the glue, y'all. So we really appreciate you doing all of that. Now, I do have a question. What was the hardest transaction that you did?
The hardest transaction. It probably had to be, no, it was one of yours.
Hey, hold on. I asked you about your transaction. You talk about mine.
One of yours, though. On the transaction side or my own personal?
Both. We want to talk about both. Let's talk about that.
So the hardest transaction management that I had was one of your clients in Marietta. The agent, she's a well-known agent. We're not going to call no names.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I was out of the country, right?
Yeah, out of the country, left me hanging, but I figured it out and we got it closed.
So what's funny about that is, and I'll tell the quick story. So there I was, I think I was in Europe. I went to Europe on a vacation, and the transaction coordinator, right? They're the glue. So within the transaction, they make sure everything progresses in a timely manner. And we had a very known agent that was very vocal on, not advocating for veterans. But Annette came in, right? Auntie Nettie, for my kids, they call her Auntie Nettie. She was able to make sure that transaction went from open to close seamlessly, and the main thing and the most important thing is that we are here to serve veterans. That is what the Veteran Homeowners Clubs does. We assist transitioning service members and help them become real estate investors. And within that, it requires a very intricate, tight-knit team. And if it was not for Annette teaching, right, and educating through the process, Remax Liberty, Veteran Homeowners Club, TC Me, Military Mortgage Group would not be here. So once again, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. And I got a question for you. What advice would you give Annette Robinson her first year in real estate?
Oof. My first year in real estate was a bit rough. So the advice that I would give to my younger self in the real estate game back then would be to not take things personal. Because, you have different clients, different personalities, and my first transaction was rough. It was rough, and I was taking it personal because I felt like he was attacking me. But, he had a situation that he got taken advantage of before, and that's why he was having the emotions behind his next purchase, but he took it out on me, and I took it personal. It was my first ever transaction.
I remember that. That was rough, right?
That was rough.
And majority of the times it's fear, right?
Right.
So when people usually are acting all crazy in transactions, you have to be the consummate professional and know that at the end of the day it's going to close, right? Whether it be real estate professional acting crazy or the mortgage professional acting crazy, at the end of the day, the VA loan is going to close, right? Because we have the lowest default rate. So that's very good advice. So for those of you who are in your first year, a realtor that's been in the game did the back end stuff for over 5 years and has helped with hundreds of transactions and has done personal transactions, the first thing that she said was, don't take it personal, okay? Through the storm is going to be a little rough bumps, but at the end of the day, the sun's going to come out, the deal's going to close, and everybody's cool, right? So I also want to ask you a question. What advice would you give a first-time home buyer that is looking at new construction?
Not to go by yourself. Do not go to a new construction site by yourself, because the sales agent works for the builder, so they're going to make sure that the builder and their commission
Gets taken care of.
Gets taken care of. Oh, that's good, man. That's a really good nugget, man. I'm telling you, the information and the reason why is because if I'm gonna play a scenario. Okay, Carlos Zuniga is a U.S. Marine, right? His spouse. He's out there working, putting Marines in the Marine Corps, right? His wife goes to new construction and signs up, or she goes on Zillow, Redfin, or anything else, right? Now, Annette, why is it important not to click on that Zillow link, get with that real estate professional? Who does that real estate professional represent?
The real estate professional represents the seller.
That is correct, man. See, and why is that important to go to a listing with a buyer's agent?
So that you make sure that you have your own representation, because if that seller is working for seller's agent is working for the seller, then they have the possibility to
dual. And this is how it's real. This is a real podcast. They represent both parties, right?
Right. Y'all gonna edit this?
Nope. We going, hey, see, real deal. And this podcast is going, this podcast is going on here, right? And so basically the information is good. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, look, with my family, we don't care as long as you get the message. We don't care how it's delivered as long as you get the information. So basically the game that she just kicked is, she said that when you go to new construction, go with a buyer's agent, because that agent that's representing the seller can represent both parties, and they get double what?
Commission.
Double commission. So that means that they get paid twice. So do you really think that if you go to Zillow, click on there, that person that already has a relationship with the buyer, that they're going to represent you? With a listing agent, with a listing person, that they're going to represent the buyer to the best of their ability? No, they're not going to tell you everything, right? So that's really good information on that, and thank you for that. Brother Carlos Zuniga, my man. So let's go back to what you just said. You said that it was very difficult for you to speak. It's crazy because you speak so well. Talk to us about the professional selling skills course and how that made you a top producing real estate professional.
It just gets down to what the people need. Instead of you pushing down, instead of certain agents, certain companies, certain individuals will try to push down. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to give the people what they need. You want to learn what they want. So you do that by having a simple conversation, getting to know them, getting to know their long-term goals, getting to know what they really need. So that's why.
That's good, man. So I what's crazy about it is that I would have never known that you had an issue with speaking with people, because I remember teaching a class on Camp Pendleton and you killed it. Right? What advice would you give your first year, Carlos Zuniga? What advice would you give yourself?
The advice that I would give first year in the game, Carlos Zuniga, would be, take things slow. Because there's no point to try to sprint to the race. This is a longevity. This is the whole lifetime goal, because just like when he took me on a crazy run.
I remember
he took me
we went on a
10-mile run, and he was like, he used it, and when I got the metaphor, I was like, dang, I want to do that. I don't want to see this just as a year stint. I want to see this as a career. I don't want to see this as a job.
And what's crazy about that is that Carlos and Annette, they don't even have to solicit for business. That's the deal, right? So people do business with people who they know, like, and trust. And one of the biggest things that I've seen in both of you guys in the legacy team is that you've been here, right? So out of all of this, we've been able to make a bunch of people very wealthy with learning the tricks and traits, but they forget one key principle, and that's doing real estate with love, right? So it's a very hard thing to teach, because I know beyond a reasonable doubt that Carlos and Annette negotiate like they're buying their own properties. Why do you guys do that? I want to ask you first. I mean, why do you fight so hard for your clients, Annette?
Because when I was on the other end, when I bought my house, the agent that I was working with didn't give me any information, just had me out there looking at houses. I was clueless. So I know what it feels like to be on the other end and not know. So having somebody who knows the business, who's gone through it before, I think that gives the buyers a little bit more confidence in purchasing
their first property.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is that, I'm gonna tell y'all, listen, real estate professionals make less money when they negotiate. So if somebody is negotiating, would you want to do a transaction with someone and you close on that transaction and you find out that they could have got a better deal? Do you think that you're going to get that relationship? Absolutely not. So what Annette just said is the key to doing the longevity in this game is it's a marathon, not a sprint. The sprinters like to get the fruit on the tree, and the marathon runners like to plant the trees. That's the difference, that create fruit for other people. So that's really good, Annette. Carlos, I got another question for you, my friend.
Send it.
Why do you believe that people choose you as a real estate professional?
I think it comes down to my personality. I think it comes down to transparency and, like I said, an honest exchange of information. That's what it comes down to.
Education, that's good. That's really good, man. So when you guys get clients, because I know the legacy team, you guys did a lot of transactions last year with veterans. You educate first. What can you give the audience a couple of things that they learn when they're doing a transaction with you, whether it be the home inspection, whether it be, what do they learn when they go through the process with you as a real estate professional?
Myself or Annette?
You.
Oh, okay. Got you. So it just depends on the scenario. Like if we go to a new construction, I respectfully tell my clients, talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to the agent that's behind the desk, because again, he or she is representing the builder's best interests. I'm here to work for you, and I want your best interests. And it's crazy because I have a scenario, and you just brought back a memory.
The earnest money deposit, right?
Yeah, the earnest money deposit. But before that, I remember one of my first transactions was with a builder. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going against a builder. And he or she was trying to extend escrow for another 20 days without taking care of my clients. And I was like, that ain't it. My clients come first. So my clients ended up staying at a hotel, but at the same time, I had the company pay for their hotel.
Oh, that's good, man.
And then they were trying to negotiate on the price being a certain way. And I was like, no, we already agreed on a certain price. We cannot alter the contract. And because of that, I ended up getting their whole house furnished with all the furniture that they used to stage it. So my clients ended up getting a pretty good deal.
Oh, that's crazy, man. And then in new construction, the biggest thing is that what I heard is that make sure that your buyer's agent is involved.
For sure, 1,000%. Because again, you want somebody in your corner. You want somebody to speak their lingo. You want somebody to do what's right for you, not somebody that's going to end up putting more money, more resources into the builder's pockets.
That's good, man. And Carlos, I have a question for you. How can the people on the Sit Rep podcast reach Carlos Zuniga?
Either through the Instagram, Carlos_Zuniga_Jr., because my dad's senior. Or just hit me up on a cell phone, 951-455-0355. Easy day.
I thought you was going to say 231-330-8004. Yeah, I don't know what that number is. I'm dating myself. And Annette, how can we reach you?
You can find me on Instagram at Annette Deon. That's ANNETTEDEON. Or on my cell, 760-845-7557.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys, the reason why I wanted to interview you guys today, I'm going to tell y'all, Annette done took like 7 shots of tequila before getting on the podcast because she does not like public speaking. So this is a very special event. But I will tell you this, man. It's good to do do business with people who understand the culture of the business. And Annette and Carlos Zuniga have been with me since this office opened. So I don't know if y'all understand that it's very, very essential for people to understand the importance of growing far versus fast. This is an endurance game. So I really appreciate you guys and love both of y'all. And this is the glue, y'all. So if y'all see them, make sure you hit them up. Annette Robinson, you can find her on Instagram. Carlos Zuniga, my brother, on the square. All right. Both of them have been in my life as my friends. I know their family, all of their personal business. We done grown, cried, fought, and done all types of stuff. I got fired as a client by Annette, but at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, I know who has my back and has the best interest for you as a veteran. So we really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. And guess what? I'll be looking forward to 2022 and see. Oh, I got one last question. What's the goal for 2022?
2022, help out at least 10 plus families become homeowners.
Indeed, 10 plus. What about you, Annette?
I'm going to aim high. My goal is to help 20.
20?
I'm putting it out there. 20.
10 and 20. So you guys know how to reach them. Thank you for joining the Sit Rep podcast. And how you can get in hold of me is wire10k.com. Winning Real Estate is the course. And guess what? We just launched our Win in Real Estate course. Follow me on Clubhouse, Tony Glenn II, or Instagram, Tony Glenn II, or Facebook, sure. And anything else. We out here getting it. I really appreciate you guys. Hey, we out.